But there's some of the most technical bits of the course getting between that road gap landing and the field jumps. So everyone who's ridden before knows the line through the rock gardens. They do all of that. They do the field jumps, and then they're like, right, do you guys want to go up further and we'll session further up? And you've got people like my brother that still stood in the rock garden like, well, hang on, I don't know the way through this. It's really tough. It's really sketchy. It's like a big drop to flat coming out of it, and if you don't know the lines in the rocks, you're not square to go off that, and you can't really go off it. If you mess the rocks up, you almost have to stop. And I went up and did another lap, and he was like in there with 2 or 3 others that hadn't been before. Oh, Kyle really? Straight was one actually, and they're like, everyone's rushing off. We haven't even got to the jumps at the bottom yet, but we can't get off this drop because we don't know this bit. So I think that's definitely overlooked, and it shows what an advantage being there 2nd, 3rd, 4th years is.
You don't have to learn those things, so you can focus on actually going quick, or you can focus on other features that are new.
It's more of the focus thing. Your muscle memory gets you through those bits, and then like you see when Bernard's obviously very fast there, and he pushes down off the jumps and he races the jumps because they're not big new things to him anymore. He's been there enough that it's now like, how do I actually save time? Well, I mean, did Jackson not win on his first visit this year? Correct me if I'm wrong. I remember that was a stat when I was presenting, which was everyone was shocked about. Yeah, unbelievable.
Yeah. Yeah, so, well, actually, when you think about it, why is Bernard so good there?
So brave.
The reason is
obviously a great downhill racer. Yeah, he tests the jumps. You know, going back to you testing the street races and things.
Yeah.
There's something to be said for that. G's done it historically, but has been injured the last few times. So Bernard's signed up to test new things, like the new drop after the metal ramp that was new. That was actually new 2 years ago.
Yeah.
But he went up prior to the event to check it was all good. I think Chaos helps as well with the on-off this year. Last year was new, excuse me.
Yeah, because Dan
before
nailed
the
himself,
100
didn't
footers.
he?
Yeah, Dan had a crash testing it. And then Bernard went up, tested the new second one, which he broke his wheel on.
Yeah.
No wheel would have survived that, by the way. He came down from a block of flats.
So you think what do you think it is, like all of those things added together give you confidence, which then means...
from a results perspective, what gets you to the top to win?
Yeah, what's advantageous about... I guess what I mean is there's lots of fast people there.
Yeah. You got to hang it out on the bits between that get overlooked, because within reason, anyone hitting a big jump will hit it at a similar speed.
Yeah.
Because the speed's the speed. Now, I contradict myself before because I said that Bernard and people push down off the road gap. Like, he'll put in some big pedal strokes on that big wooden road gap and squash it.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm not pedaling on that wood. No way, because the idea of slipping a pedal or your chain locking or something, like, I'm not going to risk that. So they make differences there, but it's got to be the downhilly bits between. So there's no, G, Bernard, Jackson are all top of their game at downhill. And they win.
Yeah.
Slopestyle riders are really good at jumps and they don't win. So
going back to, what about your twin brother slopestyle rider who's stuck in a rock garden? What do you do in that situation?
I actually helped him and I really enjoyed it. So I rode the whole of practice with him through that bit, and then we did the jumps at the bottom together, which was mint. And then comes the big ones that we, a day later, I missed the middle part of the track in practice because we were doing the presenting stuff. It got down to the 100 footers, which is actually the only part of the course I'd never done. It was new the year I was injured. So that was a big deal for me, and that's what I was very scared of. And Matt had been through the on-off. He was one of the first people to do it.
Was he? Yeah.
Yeah. Which was, I didn't follow anyone. And I'm watching, like, microphone in hand, having to present what he's doing.
That's
really nervous.
Yeah.
Because we don't see each other do scary things in real life very often.
Yeah.
And he did it perfect. He then pushed up and did the first big one. And I said to the guys, do you mind if I ride this? And then went through it with them, following him.
So you rush off and you have to get into kit, or you're already in kit? Or
in kit, but hadn't ridden that day. So that's all I did that day was the on-off, and then right the way through, I believe.
I think that's one of the things that probably you don't get when you watch these things, is that there's no warm-up. There's really rarely anything you can warm up on, really, ever. I mean, even on a micro scale, just to our silly day that we've had today.
Yeah.
When you actually think about it, you're like, because I did actually think about it today.
Yeah, I felt like we hadn't done anything. We even took off the ground and we're at this canyon thing.
Yeah, we'd ridden straight to a jumps. There's no warm up. Yeah, I think that must be the hardest thing.
It's cool that it's there.
Yeah,
with riding, like we've done it enough that even if you don't feel warmed up, we can still jump that.
Yeah, and the same for hardline. It's like, I guess you'd consider the bottom bit as the closest thing to a warm up from that landing. Is that what you're saying? Yeah. It's got those turns, hasn't it? So you come off the landing out the berm. I mean, I've never been there, but I know.
Little step on, step off.
Step on, step off.
Then you're into the rocks.
Rocks, and then left,
and
right.
Traverse. No, the left, right's up before the road gap, before the main rock garden that you're talking about. They're sick corners.
Maybe, I'm getting confused, aren't I? Yeah.
That's before a rock garden above the road gap.
No, I'm not getting confused. A bit, I know the left. I'm not talking about those ones. I know what you're on about. Yeah. After the right hand berm, there's just those turns. So I guess they're like
left, right, and then into the rocks.
Yeah.
I
guess they give you an opportunity
to rocks and horrible stuff in there.
Really, yeah.
Doesn't deal with the wet well, that venue.
Right.
The dirt's quite sticky. In a bad way, so your tyres clog up and then they don't work on the rocks.
If you want to see more, just click here, is it?
Yeah, it's up there. Should be up there.
About there.
Yeah, about there.
And then there's other ones here.
Other ones there that you might like.
We're all looking after each other, and that's Christmassy, and that's the ride companion.